Hello everyone, Vickieverlie here, the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and today we're going to take a look at the full moon chart for the full moon in Scorpio, which is happening on April 23rd, 2024, 7:49 p.m. Eastern Time, but times will vary. This is an intuitive or psychic approach to reading the chart. Well, I have studied astrology since the 90s, and I do have a very strong basis in astrology. I also get downloads, messages, and even songs, if many of you know that watch my channel, from my guides as we go through and look at the reading here. Do not be fooled by imposters. The only way to reach me is through my website, and if you like this content, I would love it if you hit like and subscribe. Let's take a look. Well, here it is. This is the full moon in Scorpio, 4 degrees, 18 minutes of Scorpio. It's, of course, exactly opposing the sun, therefore creating the full moon. But also, look at this part of fortune is here. I really like that. This is the New York chart, so the part of fortune may be different elsewhere. But in this chart, we've got an opposition or conjunction to the sun of the part of fortune. It feels like, this is silver lining. What the guides are coming through with, every cloud has a silver lining. Because, and it is squaring with Pluto here too, if you notice. That's the main thing. We've got this, it's making a T-square with the Pluto energy. And Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio energy. So Pluto is, the energy of Pluto is in there no matter what, even there if the square wasn't happening. Because Pluto is the ruler of this full moon. And Pluto is all about death and rebirth. That's the Scorpio nature. Death, rebirth, transformation, going down to the underworld, coming back up to the sun. And in the northern hemisphere, we're moving into the springtime. We're in springtime, but it's, the flowers are really starting to bloom and everything. So it's a new day dawning, and it feels like it's a new day dawning after all the trials and tribulations that we've been through in recent times here. And much of that is still showing up in this chart. Most of all, what I've got over here, what drew me in was the Chiron energy. Now, this has been, ever since the Aries Ingress, we've had this Mercury, because Mercury's gone retrograde, we've got the Mercury conjunct the North Node with Chiron. So it has been a time of really becoming aware of these deep wounds, these deep healings. Talk about going to the dark side, that can be a Chiron kind of vibration as well. Going down deep, Scorpio loves to go down deep and dig into that the deeper meaning of life and the deeper things that motivate us in our lives. Because also in this time, we've got the Venus in there with the Chiron as well. Venus and the Chiron, those can be our love wounds. That could be where we continually wound ourselves over and over again regarding love affairs, stuff. But Chiron is very much like related to the imposter syndrome and self-sabotage. So there's some of that going on. But with the North Node, the Mercury, and the Venus, we're being asked to look at it, not to stick our hand in the sun, because Scorpio is going to look at it. Scorpio will look at it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Scorpio's definitely looking at that ugly. And actually healing it in a proper way. Actually going through and doing some healing. Not brushing it under the rug. Not pretending it's not there. In the sign of Aries, it's all about self-empowerment, but it's also fessing up. Calling your own self out on your BS, What part did you play in all this? How were you a factor? We all do create a reality, but even if you want to get out, don't have to go that high and that transcendental as we create a reality. We all have a part to play. Anything that's wounded, or we've been wounded, or we've been, hurt by or wounded, we play a part in it. Even if it's only the fact of inviting it or allowing it. Or why do we continually, because the Chiron can be that wound that just never heals, It can be difficult to heal. And why do we keep, like in love, why do we keep choosing that same, what did Oprah used to say? It's the same man in a different pair of pants. What man, woman, it's not about a man or gender, it's just about the same partner in a different pair of pants. And, we do that, and I've done that. You continually choose that same personality type, that same paradigm, because there's still something that has to be healed in that. You have not quite done it. And I know it can be exhausting. I'm hearing you out there. It's like it's just exhausting. And many people are feeling really exhausted after all the things that we've been through here with the eclipses and everything that's gone on. And, you know, it's just a lot. It's just really a lot. It's a lot of healing. It's a lot of like self-focus though. I mean, it's the full moon's in Scorpio, yes, but this Aries energy is the. When I opened this chart, whoosh, my eyes went right here, and that's another way for those of you out there that are wanting to learn maybe about how to read the chart more intuitively. Let your eye go, just like when I'm doing a tarot spread. I let my eye kind of go, because that's the way the guides will point you in the direction of what needs to be addressed, or what's the most important factor, or what they want to talk about or expound upon. So, you know, I'm really diving into this Aries energy, and this is all about self-knowledge, you're bringing it back to you, being accountable for your own deeds and actions, being accountable for the situations you find yourself in, healing within thyself no matter what the outside world thinks or is happening in the outside world. It's really a card about focusing in on yourself, your direction, what you want to do in life, and who you want to be in life. And, you know, the Mars energy, which is the ruler of Aries, is over here, and it's in a tight conjunction here with the, well, it's conjunct Saturn, but it's really closer to this Neptune energy. So Mars in Pisces, it's kind of like you can be a little bit lost, like, I don't know, I've got all this pent-up energy, all this Mars, like anger, frustration. I feel like I'm going to explode, and I don't know where to go with it, or what to do about it, or, let's bring my daffodils. Will they show up in the photo? In the film? In the film. Well, I guess it is a film. I don't want to spill my base, though. We can bring the daffodils down. I've got my beautiful daffodils. They're getting a little wilty. There, we can see them, huh? Because we're bringing that spring energy. Yeah, so it's like, and there can be a bit of illusion around it with the Neptune energy, or we don't know. Or for some that have that proclivity, it can also be kind of like, that can be, you know, going for the drug and alcohol, you know, the escapism, trying to escape the reality. Because often that will be what the Neptune energy can bring forth as well. So it's, you know, with the Scorpio full moon, it's time to be brutally honest. And Aries can be that way too. It's time to be brutally honest about what are we doing in our lives. How can we make the changes? What is the deep underlying cause that really needs to be addressed here? It's not about what they said or what they did or what this happened to me or that happened to me. It's bringing it back home to self. What is the actual thing that needs to be addressed? The actual thing that you can do right here, right now, today. Right here, right now. There is no other place I want to be. Yeah, right here, right now. The other thing that's going on in this chart, in the Taurus, we're coming off, this is like, what, 2 days after? 2-3 days after the exact conjunction of the Jupiter-Uranus energy. So we have that still also. All the recent things, all the transits, the big transits of the recent, you know, time frames are still active in this chart. We've got this Chiron and North Node Mercury thing still active. We got the Jupiter-Uranus thing still active. And the Jupiter-Uranus, you know, considered really lucky. I mean, I'm recording this the week before the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I actually did a whole other video just on that. If you want to take a look at it, going sign by sign, you can find that over on my channel there. But I mean, I don't really know how it's going to be, you know, but whatever the effects is, and it's going to be different for everybody, you know, depending on the house, depending on the planets that you're aspecting. But how did it affect you? How has that, how can you can have deeper awareness of that whole the whole situation of everything, the two eclipses, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, all the kind of turbulence or shakeups that have been going on. With the Scorpio energy, you can really get like a deeper understanding of it all. You can have those aha moments. The Jupiter-Uranus also, I feel, is going to help us transcend that. Because Jupiter is such a high energy, and so is Uranus. Albeit in the sign of Taurus, which is not necessarily the highest vibration. You know, I love my Tauruses. I have so many close friends that have been Tauruses over the years, and partners and different things. You know, I love my Tauruses. Well, because they're also musical, and I'm a musician, so I always seem to end up knowing and hanging out with a lot of Tauruses because they're, you know, the consummate musicians pretty much. And anybody who's a, you know, a really great musician, you look at their chart, you're going to find Taurus somewhere. If they're not a Taurus sun sign, you're going to find Venus, Mercury, and Taurus, you know, something, Moon, Ascendant, because that is the music. It's Venus, but it's also, the Taurus is more the music. I've said this before, because Venus rules over, you know, Venus rules over Taurus, yes, but Venus also rules over Libra. And Libras, yes, they can be musical, but I find Libras to be more visually oriented a lot of times, or the writers, or the visual artists, or the decorators, fashion. You know, they're into the colors and that. Where the Tauruses are the music people, pretty consistently. But anyways, you know, but this Jupiter and Uranus, this is this higher vibe. This is going to that higher level. This is transcending and going, you know, like jumping timelines. I mean, seriously, jumping timelines to live that best life with the Jupiter. Jupiter and Taurus could be living that best life, enjoying the Taurus, because the sun is in Taurus too in the part of fortune. We've got a lot of Taurus here. Enjoying the pleasures of life, the Taurian energy, of being in the flesh, of being in the physical, of food, drink, you know, eat, drink, and be happy, for tomorrow we die. Well, not tomorrow we die, but eat, drink, and be merry. Yeah, so eat, drink, and be merry, but just that elevating it, not, you know, not getting so, because, you know, Chiron, eclipses, that can rip things apart. It can really rip through your stuff, you know. It can be traumatic and dramatic and, you know, difficult to navigate at times. But with this thing, I feel like it's just really lifting it up. It's interesting in this chart that it's in it almost things. Jupiter's exactly trining our Lilith over here, and Lilith is opposing the Mars. You know, the Lilith opposed the Mars. Well, this is the way to go. Let's direct this Lilith. We got Lilith opposed the Neptune Mars thing here. Lilith and Mars get together, you know. It can be some contention. You know, it's two very strong-willed energies at opposition with each other. Both wanting their own way, both wanting to be right, both feeling like they have all the answers and they're going to do what they want to do. Now, in the signs of Virgo and Pisces, maybe to a lesser degree. Maybe in the mutable signs, maybe to a lesser degree. But that it's still there. You can't ignore the elephant in the room. There's a Mars-Lilith opposition. I can bring up anger. You know, with it being in the mutable signs, it can be this internalized stuff. It can be this stuff that we've pushed down, or that we don't really, you know, the Scorpio moon, there's ugly things we don't really want to look at. It's going to bring it out. But the other thing is here, you know, with this aspect here, is, with Lilith, actually, is that, you know, she's directly trining this Jupiter-Uranus thing. So there is an out. There is an outlet for this whole thing. Actually, there's a grand trine involving Ceres in the Earth signs. So we've got Ceres at 20 degrees of Capricorn, which is an asteroid, and I don't always count the asteroids all that much, but and then Lilith, and then the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So Lilith wants to be strong. Lilith wants to be independent. Lilith wants to be standing on equal ground. She doesn't want to take a back seat. She doesn't want to be subservient. She wants to be empowered. Sorry, that phone is going off. Let me mute that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it. I'm probably not going to be able to edit this out. In the sign of Virgo, how is Virgo? Virgo goes through being of use, you know. Virgo wants to be helpful. Virgo wants to be of use. Virgo wants to get in and do the work. Virgo's all about, let's get in and do the work, you know. Virgo's not looking for a free ride or blind, blind follow, you follow me just because I'm so great. Virgo earns every single thing they get, okay? And Taurus, too. All the earth signs. You know, they're about, we're going to work for it, we're going to earn it. We're not looking for a handout. We're not looking for anybody to, you know, any shortcuts. That's another thing about the Taurus energy, big time. No shortcuts. Do the work. Go through, you know, step by step. Make it happen. But for those of us, and many of us that have been doing that, doing the work, doing the steps, you know, putting in the effort on it every day, consistent effort, one foot in front of the other, walking up those steps, walking up to the top of the mountain. You know, this could be the reward up here at the top of the mountain. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a big trophy cup. For those of us that have been doing that, this trine could just lock it in. It's like, well, here, you've reached this pinnacle of success. You've reached this time of the mountain. It's funny I said time of the mountain. It's because time could be a factor for sure as well, because that's what astrology is all about, is timing. And the Capricorn energy and Saturn energy, which is also kind of involved in this stuff, is, you know, about time. Saturn is father time. But there could be some, you know, some big getting there, like feeling of I've made it, even if it's just you're this far up with the mountain, but you can take a rest and then you can go on the next leg of your journey up to the next, you know, the next ascension or the next climbing up the next mountain that you're going to conquer. But you've reached a place where you can sort of, the guys are saying rest on your laurels, but it won't be forever. That's definitely not like rest on your laurels forever. And, you know, well, you know, then again, with the Taurus energy, when I said rest on your laurels, not exactly, they showed me the Bacchus guy, you know. That's that god, the wine, the big belly, and the eating the grapes and drinking the wine and laughter and the music and all that, you know, that's totally Taurus. So you may want to take a little break. But it's not going to be forever. This is not the end of the journey. But maybe you could actually see some kind of oasis. Oasis in the desert is what the guys want me to say. Yeah. Yeah, so the Mars-Neptune, another thing about that, because Mars is all action, and Pisces is all about dreaming and not really action-oriented at all. You know, just vibing and being and dreaming and stuff. Vibing and being and dreaming. Sounds like a song. But anyways, so Mars doesn't like being in that. Mars is fire. It doesn't like being in this watery energy. So there could be this level of frustration that starts to kick in too. And with the Neptune energy and the Pisces energy, it can be where there's an element of illusion with the Neptune Pisces energy. There's an element of illusion, of an element of not really seeing things clearly. Suspicious, what they give me. We can't go on together with suspicious minds, with suspicious minds. Yeah, so, but there could be suspicion, but maybe it's unfounded. You know, with this, you could get yourself worked into it. The guys are saying worked into a tizzy. Don't be getting yourselves worked into a tizzy out there, everybody. I'm laughing because the guides, their language they come through with, it's like a lot of times really old-timey expressions that I would never say, and that's one of them. Work yourself into a tizzy. Now, let's not get yourselves worked into a tizzy over this. Let's give this a little breathing room, because Mars is going to come out of influence of that pretty soon, I think. Let's see here. Sorry about my squeaky chair. You know, I tried to do some WD-40 on this chair, and I just couldn't really determine where it was squeaking from, so I'm trying not to squeak, but, you know, stuff happens. Yeah, it's going to continue on through April, but then Mars is going to move into Aries here in the end of May, the very end of April. So we've got a few more weeks of this Neptune-Mars stuff going on. So before you go off flying off the handle, plus I think Mercury's still retrograde too, yeah. So before you go like flying off the handle or working up this whole back story, oh, and then I bet it was this or I bet it was that. You know, with Neptune is the planet of illusions, but it's also like film and media. So it could be like something you see on social media. Oh, look at that. I bet they're dating, or I bet this is that. You know, let's not go jumping to some crazy conclusions or making assumptions, especially if they're assumptions that's getting you in the state of being worked up. You know, where you're worked up, you're charged up, you're angry. If it's fueling that anger, you know, it might be a time to do a little Byron Katie, the work. Is it true? Is it really true? You know? Might be a good time to kind of go there. or just kind of wait it out. Give it a couple weeks, because by the beginning of May, this aspect will be gone. And Mars is going to be, at that time, Mars is going to be moving into Aries, so then it's going to be joining in with this nice North Node stuff. So really giving a big turbocharge to working with its own energy in the sign of, so things are changing. It's not a great time. Maybe you don't have the full picture right now, okay? Maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding, illusion, something where you just really, and misunderstandings could happen. And probably will, the guide said, probably will. Yeah, so just, be aware of that. This is also making that sextile to the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which, I'm mostly good, I feel, and everything, but Jupiter can blow it up. It always does. Jupiter expands, and it makes bigger, so it makes things bigger, makes them seem, in this kind of a situation, it can make things seem bigger than they really are, and you can get caught up in some kind of a, like even conspiracy theories. I know sometimes there's truth in conspiracy theories. I'm not knocking conspiracy theories necessarily, because many times they turn out there's some truth in it. But if you're getting in a tailspin and it's just like, oh my God, it's this, and then you're drawing, you got they're showing me like they show on these detective shows where they got all the suspects on there and they're the lines, where they got stick pins and they're strings and they're tying everything. If you're going down that road, maybe it's time to back away from that a little bit. Mars, go out and do something physical always is the kind of the remedy or the antidote. I need a remedy. That's what it's meant to be. I need a remedy. Well, the remedy is physical activity, getting in nature. If you swim, it'd be a great time. Do some laps in the pool. Go out and do that water thing with the Pisces energy. I need a remedy. That's still coming through. If I had some remedy, I'd take enough to please me. Yeah. Dun, 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 ba-da-dun. All right, so yeah, remedy. Anyways, there is always a remedy. There's always a counterbalance to any type of energy. So if there's, Mars energy, you're feeling antsy, you're feeling frustrated, anger, physical, or sex. Sex is, Mars is sexuality, Venus is love, Mars is sex. Sex, or just, I would say this often with me, especially with all this Taurus energy now. It's getting in that garden, digging in that dirt, always helps me. It helps ground you too, and there's electric something in the soil and everything. Get your hands in some dirt. But that's me, Miss Earth sign over here. For everybody, it's going to be different for everybody. So there's always a counterbalance. That's why there's the opposite sides. That's why the nodes travel on the opposite side. There's always a counterbalance, The Scorpio can go to that deep, dark place. The Scorpio can be embroiled in mystery and conspiracy too, for sure. And you know what? With the full moon in Scorpio, some of you there may be a big reveal like, oh, wow, there is some kind of something dark, deep, dark, whatever that was going on, or something could be exposed, the underbelly, But then we take it to the other side, and this could be really, Scorpio wants to sting. Scorpio will sting you to death, right? The Scorpion will. But the Taurus energy is just like, let's calm down, let's play some music, let's calm down, let's take it one step at a time, so there's always this counterbalance in every sign of the zodiac. Every sign of the zodiac has an opposite placement on the wheel, right? So there's always a way to counteract the energy. You don't want to go extreme on anything, you don't want to be too extreme on one side or the other, or any of it. Try to stay in balance, but there is definitely, there is an antsiness to this. There is a feeling of, restlessness, or, pent-up vibration, pent-up energy. So there's got to be a way to discharge it. This could be, with the Chiron too, and the Chiron Mercury could get in your brain what's really going on. You could have this, because sometimes that stuff you don't really realize what it is. It's just, I feel, I'm so aggravated, I don't know why. you could have this aha moment. Maybe just having the aha moment about, oh, I'm feeling aggravated. Maybe I should go do some yard work or go for a walk or something, or a run or a swim. What was I going to say though about the Scorpio energy? Well, it's just, it's making you aware. It's going to make you aware of some deep, dark things that maybe have been really, poking at you and bothering you, and you really weren't sure where it was coming from or why you were getting so triggered. This is triggering energy. And the Scorpio moon can be like, oh, the Scorpio moon is a full moon, but it's also Scorpio, so it's death. You could put it to rest forever. You could have that, oh, this is what it is. Oh, I see that. And then you could just put it to rest here. And you can just put it to rest. This is what just came through. This is also going to be a good time with the Mercury and all this to train your brain. Because Aries also rules the head. And parts of the body, it rules the head. And I think the brain, but the head for sure. So if you're in your head too much, Aries, Mercury, you're thinking too much, you're in your head, this could, start training your brain, start catching yourself. I'm thinking that thought again. I'm thinking that unproductive, negative thought again. Here I go around again. Here we go, loop-de-loop. Here we go, loop-de-lie. Here we go, loop-de-loop. Oh, on a Saturday night. I'm not sure if it's loop-de-loop or not. That's an old one. That's another oldies. My guides come through with some good songs and some funny stuff sometimes. But yeah, don't go loop-de-loop on us now, everybody. No loop. If you start loop-de-looping, get out of that loop, okay? Train your brain. Start training that brain and stopping that. You can become more aware of it. Like, oh, there I go again. I'm thinking that thought again. I'm going down that rabbit hole again. I'm jumping on that hamster wheel. This is leading nowhere good. Let's get off of it. Let's back off. Let's take a break. Let's follow the Taurus lead. Be calm. Listen to some music. Let's go deeper, maybe with the Scorpio energy. Well, where is this really coming from? This Mars Neptune too. This could be that thing that's just that's just poking at your unconscious mind, trying to come into awareness, trying to get your attention. This could be a time where you could find out what those things are. Big time of self-realization and self-pondering. It's a lot about ourselves, and not so much about the other, as to focusing on ourselves, self-improvement, figuring some things out here. Figuring some things out so we can be free of it, death of the Scorpio energy, and we can go in the direction of the North Node, to our true north, to our highest good, to our soul mission, All right, everybody. Well, talking about soul mission, I do have those soul readings, which is really like a past life reading, where it's astrology based, and I look at your own North Node and your Saturn. It's very much a psychic reading, but I look at the chart as a jumping off point. I do that, and I do a soulmate reading where the two of you, I can look into the past lives of you together. Those are pretty much, I think, the only strictly astrology-based readings that I'm offering right now, but I always do have readings available on my website. If you order the 1 or 2 question reading that I have, it's just about, I do a little bit of astrology. I just grab your planets out of the ephemeris, because that's just old school way that I'm used to doing it. It's it's just easy. I know you can do it all on computers now, and I have, of course, obviously I have computer software, but it's just the way I always did it at the fairs. I just whip open the ephemeris and I can just bam, hit the major points. And then I bring that into the card reading too, and they're psychic card readings. Because, the tarot for me is really the fastest way. I can do a strictly astrology reading, but the tarot, because I've been working with it so much longer. I got my first tarot deck when I was 13 years old. And I'm 61 now, so that's how long I've been reading tarot. And, so that's why I just have this fluency with tarot. It's just, it talks to me, my guides speak through it, and that's just my way. But most of it's, either way, is more of a psychic reading. And I do have it, and what it is a recorded reading, but I use your email to tune into your energy. And the turnaround time is usually, I put 7 to 10 days, but lately it's probably more like 5 to 7 days, because I'm not bogged down with extra like when I'm offering like the Aries Ingress, these extra readings that I'm real busy, then you might have to wait the full 10 days to get that reading. But, you know, lately you probably get it within 5 to 7 days turnaround. And what's great about having the video, because it's a video and you can watch it a bunch of times, and you could, because you don't hear everything when you're doing the readings. When you're getting a reading, you don't hear everything, you know. And I used to take furious notes when I'd get readings from other readers, you know, and you still aren't going to catch everything. Get that video, it's got everything on it, because I'll tell you what, there's things that I'm going to say in a reading that might not resonate at the moment, but will resonate later on, but you'll forget about it because it's not what you're focused on. Or you might not even hear it because you're so focused on one particular issue. So I do feel like doing that video reading is the far superior form of delivery. I was the first one to do it, as far as I know. I think a lot of readers are kind of flipping over to that way now, but whatever, it is what it is. So that's what I do, and it's, you get it within like a week or so. I have a 1 question, a 2 question, and then I have them for the more deep spiritual dive. I have the soul readings with the chart. I also have some other cool readings where I look at smoke. It's a smoke reading where you do a candle on a paper. And so all of that you can find over at my website at vickieverlie.com. I'm going to be making a big announcement here on the 23rd. I'm going to do my pre-launch. I'm going to launch I'm working on my deck. Those of you that have been following for a while, I've been working on it for 9 months. I mean, that's how long it takes when you don't use AI, okay? I just had to throw that in there. It takes a long time to do a deck. You know, this is all hand-drawn. A lot of drawn on the iPad, but nonetheless, hand-drawn. It's a 50-card Oracle deck. I'm so excited to show it to you, but I'm going to wait till I'm going to debut it or reveal it on the full moon. I'm going to reveal what I've been working on, right? And then the actual launch date is going to be the new moon in Taurus on May 7th. But I'll be sending things out, and I'm going to be running a cool contest too I'm going to do an official, I already have it done, it's an official video to promote the deck and the Kickstarter campaign. And I have a hashtag that I'm going to track. So everybody who shares that video with that hashtag, after the campaign is done, I'm going to give away a bunch of stuff. I'm going to go through and do a random drawing. I'm going to give away like probably 3 or 4 astrology reports from my website, maybe a couple actual readings from me you'll be able to win. And then of course if the campaign is successful, I'm going to give away a deck or 2 maybe. So I have all kinds of fun things and all the prizes. I've come up with some really, really cool prizes for the Kickstarter, so I'm super stoked about it. I'm coming down the home stretch now. I mean, I've been working on this, like I said, 9 months, the human gestation period. So I was actually going to launch it on the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, but then Mercury is retrograde, and it was so close to the eclipse. Like, let's just wait. And good thing I did, too, because that gives me a couple more weeks of another week of breathing room, because there's a lot to get together for these things. You'd be surprised. Video, and then there's just talking to manufacturers and trying to get the extra prizes, and it's been a lot. It's been morning, noon, and night. Well, it's been morning, noon, and night since the first of the year. I've been working on it because I set that goal I wanted to have it done by this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which it sort of is. But I'm glad I'm giving myself that little bit of extra time because it was needed for sure. But yeah, a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I think it's the coolest deck ever. I mean, like I said, I've been reading since I was 13. It's coming up on 50 years. Oh my God. You know, in 2 years, it'll be 50 years that I've been reading tarot. So, and, you know, I've used tons of different decks, and I really do think that it's a really cool deck. But coming from my background, I have a lot. You know, I'm a reader, and I've created a couple other decks too. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'll be revealing it, and, you know, if you want to make sure you don't miss it, hit that subscribe and notification, so when that official video does come out, you can, if you want to share it with the hashtag, then you can get in on the contest to win free readings, win the deck, win free astrology reports. That's not necessary. It doesn't matter for that part of the giveaway that I'm doing. It's outside of Kickstarter. It's just for people who are going to share the video and help promote it. You know, you don't have to necessarily, you know, back the project or buy anything, but if you share the video with the hashtag, you're going to go into the drawing for the extra prizes that I'm giving outside of it. So, super stoked, super excited. it'll be coming soon. So again, my name's Vickieverlie. If you want to contact me or you want to get a reading, you can go to my website. I do have, again, 1 and 2 question readings, very affordable. I also have some astrology reports that are only $22 that are just, computer reports, but pretty in-depth and thorough. So check it out if you're interested. Hope that the Scorpio full moon reveals some things to you that's going to help you along on your soul's journey and your soul's growth. Remember that you are love and beauty incarnate. Have the best full moon ever. We are in turbulent times. There's major changes afoot. But with the Taurus energy also, that can really help to ground us into reality. Keep your feet on the ground. Stay grounded. This too shall pass, the guys just said. Have a great one, and I'll be back again soon.